Good morning, Captain Wofford.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Wofford.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, apologize.
And when you see in the exhibit, the video plays of both Mr. Bennett and Mr. Meyer out in 6 North 600, is this typical that two inmates are out at the same time?
So no two people are supposed to be on the floor at the same time?
Correct.
Okay. This occurred in the protective custody dorm, correct?
Correct. Once their door is closed, it locks.
Okay, so, and who controls those locks?
Tower.
Okay, so. What happened?
He was supposed to go up. I'm not sure why he didn't go inside or whatever, and he was left out.
Wait a minute. So we talking about protected custody and the door's just open? Ask yourself, did the state put this play in motion? Man.
If you're new, make sure y'all hit that notification bell, that like, share, comment, and subscribe. Grab a seat. We finna dig deep.
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. Man, today we definitely got to do a YSL Rico trial update. And man, just when it seemed like the state had thrown every card on the table, new evidence with new witnesses now being introduced against the last two remaining defendants, Yak and Shannon. Now, at this point, it's evident that the prosecution is definitely not letting up, and they brought in fresh witness to actually detail some of the most violent incidents tied to the alleged YSL group, both inside and outside of the jail. Now, as you all know, YFN Lucci was actually attacked in the Fulton County Jail at the actual start of this trial. But ask yourself, is YSL really responsible, or was this just a bigger play from the state? But before we dig deep, man, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Tap the notification bell so you won't miss a drop whenever we drop, and definitely scroll down to all. So who's really responsible for YFN Lucci? Y'all know the vibes. Grab a seat. We finna dig deep. Now, the state's first witness is actually a retired lieutenant who witnessed the incident in Fulton County Jail firsthand, when YFN Lucci was allegedly poked up by an alleged YSL associate. Let's dig.
Aaron Wofford, AARON WOFFORD.
Say good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you tell the jurors how you were currently employed, sir?
I am retired lieutenant at the Fulton County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And how long were you employed by the Fulton County Sheriff's Office?
Over 21 years.
Okay. Now, can you tell the jurors, based on your investigation in conjunction with other deputies who were working in the Fulton County Jail, can you tell the jurors the inmates that were involved in the violent incident?
Bennett and Myrick.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors, as it relates to Mr. Bennett and Mr. Myrick, did you view the video surveillance of the actual stabbing from the Pelco system?
I did.
Okay. And were you able to actually, locate? Let me ask a better question. Was the violent event, was it actually captured on the video surveillance?
It was.
Okay. I guess in the far middle right-hand corner of the exhibit?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors, is that J.D. Myrick?
That's correct.
Okay. And in your review of the footage, let's go ahead and explain to the jurors where we are in the jail in this video.
This is 6 North Zone 600.
It's the second individual you got, last name Bennett. Is that Ray Sean Bennett?
That's correct.
Okay. And you're working at the jail and he's working there while Mr. Bennett was in custody. Do you know a nickname that he goes by?
I don't.
Okay. Is the nickname Lucci? Does that ring a bell?
It sounds familiar, but I don't. I've heard it, the name, but.
Continue to review the video. Is there a time where you can see Mr. Ray Sean Bennett also come out and get released from his cell?
There is a time, yes.
I'm going to move to 6:57 p.m. And at 6:58:08 p.m. on February 9th, 2022, do you see in the top middle right-hand side states at 124 BB, the individual upstairs in a white shirt?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors, is that Mr. Ray Sean Bennett after he's been released from his cell?
Appears to be race. Yes, Mr. Bennett.
And can you explain to the jurors, is he near the area that you just talked about where video visitation takes place?
Yes.
Let's dig. Now ask yourself, isn't the purpose of protected custody supposed to be to protect the individual that's isolated from other individuals that want to do harm to that specific individual? Now, ask yourself this to dig a little deeper. Why did YFN actually get such a sweet plea? Was this because the actual state was at risk because of this actual situation that happened within their watch on their hands? And then speaking of watch, with this situation? Was this just not perfect timing? Both of these individuals at the floor on the same time, both in PC? Did somebody put this in motion, or did somebody just jam the door to keep it open? Let's dig.
And when you see in the exhibit, as the video plays, both Mr. Bennett and Mr. Meyer out in 6 North 600, is this typical that 2 inmates are out at the same time?
No,
And can you tell the jurors why not?
because we wouldn't want to mix them up in case something would happen. So the one that was out, Mr. Meyer, should have been put up.
And it's 7:01 and 15 seconds. Lieutenant, do you see Mr. Bennett heading towards the video visitation area being followed by Mr. Meyer?
That's correct.
Now, Lieutenant, as the fight's going on, can you tell the jurors in each one of the pods where are the deputies in relation to the inmates? For example, the ones we're watching right now. Where does this deputy come from?
He comes, I'm assuming, from the other side. This happened in 600, so I'm assuming he was in maybe 1, 2, or 300.
I can ask a different question.
All right.
So the deputies, as it relates to when they're working on during their shift, here this is 6 North 600. Just one deputy works several pods.
Yes,
And throughout their shift, are they, I guess, monitoring pods from 600 North, 600
Yes.
South and around?
yes, around their housing pod that they're assigned to, yes.
And can you tell the jurors, is there, I guess, a watchtower, for example, where an individual is monitoring the Pelco system or the video surveillance system?
No, they're not watching the Pelco, they're actually watching the inmates
Okay.
in the same pod area or same housing floor area.
And if an incident like this occurs, does the person in the watchtower alert deputies?
Yes.
And is that how they, I guess, get to the pods as quickly as they can?
Correct.
Okay, let's just say that the doors malfunction. Like everybody else is locked up, but these 2 doors just happen to open at the same time. Stop the cap. We know that the towers are actually controlled by the actual security. If you watch movies, you've seen where people from the outside can make calls for the person at the door to actually open the door from the inside. And we're talking about on the inside of jails and prisons. We've seen it happen in the movie, so you're telling me it's not happening in real life? Now, it's not even saying that Young Thug is actually responsible or YSL, even though the incident was between YFN and YSL. But what it is saying is maybe the strings were pulled by a bigger power. Let's dig. Jeez. Now, can you say fight or flight? Now, imagine being in flip-flops and socks and being on concrete steps and coming down all them steps and still landing on your feet while you still dodging the beats. Now, that's interesting. Now, first and foremost, I would definitely want to say it was great that nobody was actually unalive during this whole incident. But even deeper, when we jump back onto this actual case and the evidence, why would they even introduce this evidence being that Young Thug took his plea last week? Now, it's interesting because, as I said in my previous video, the state is trying to still figure out how to connect the dots. But again, this is another individual that was operating from the bottom that attacked the top. Even more deep, ask yourself this. Who was actually in control of the towers? Was it the defendants or the state? Let that sink in. Now, even more interesting is when the defense came in, the state story always sounds good until the defense steps in. Let's dig.
Good morning, Captain Wofford. Lieutenant Wofford.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. My name is Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell, who's seated to my right. Just a couple questions. I just want to make sure I have this correct. I know that you've corrected me, you're a lieutenant. Were you the person within the jail responsible for investigating this incident?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that was in your purview?
Yes.
All right, great. Now, my first question is, I think we just saw in the body cam, Deputy Edwards, I thought I heard a taser gun. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. Who was tased?
Both of them.
Both individuals were tased?
I understand. Yes. From what I saw,
Okay.
yes.
Now, as I understood your testimony, correct me if I'm wrong, this occurred in the protective custody dorm, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, You indicated, I believe, that there was only supposed to be one person, when I say person, I mean a person that's an inmate at the time, walking around the floor at a time.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And so that doesn't just apply to Jaden Myrick and Rashawn Bennett. That applies to all the people, the inmates, I don't like that term, but inmates that are in that pod,
In 600, yes.
in 600. No two people are supposed to be on the floor at the same time.
Correct.
Okay. How is that ensured? Can you explain? Are there, for instance, are there locks on the individual doors to the rooms?
Yes. Once their door is closed, it locks.
Okay. So, and who controls those locks?
Tower.
Okay. So, am I correct that the tower, ideally, the way it's supposed to work is the tower lets one person out onto the floor, and then doesn't let anyone else out until that person returns back to their room? Ideally,
Whoever's out, they go in first, they lock the doors, and whoever's supposed to come out next comes out.
Okay. In the video, as I understood it, Mr. Myrick was out walking the floor, correct?
Correct?
And then Mr. Bennett exited his door to enter the floor as well,
Correct.
which would be against the protocol.
Correct.
What happened?
From my understanding, from reports that I got, he was supposed to go up. I'm not sure why he didn't go inside or whatever, and he was left out. I don't know because I wasn't up there.
Well, presumably, if the idea is to keep the gentleman separate, or any two individuals separate, the person that's in the room, their door would not be unlocked until the other person is securely locked in their room, correct? That's how it's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to work. I'm not sure what the incident was or why it happened that way. There could have been a number of things. I don't know. Maybe the tower person didn't see him walking around. I'm not sure. I'm not making any excuses. I don't know. But ideally, one person's supposed to go up, other one's supposed to go in.
Did you do, as part of your investigation at the jail, did you do kind of a historical look to see if that was a common instance that had been happening over the last month, we'll say, with two people on the floor at the same time?
No.
Okay, so we don't know if this is that incident or that situation with two people that are in 600 being on the floor at the same time. We're not sure if that happened at all over the past month. We just know that it happened on that particular day.
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
So let's talk about it. Now here is where things get even more ironic. Now YFN Lucci is supposed to be in protected custody under the state's watch, a setup designed to prevent precisely any kind of violent encounter. So ask yourself, how did things escalate to the point of an attack happening at all? Was it the negligence on the state or the actual Fulton County system? Or was it more to the story that we're just not being told? Let's dig. Yo, stop what you're doing real quick. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit the like button. Share the video. Hit the like button. Let's dig.
Lieutenant Wofford.
Good morning.
My name is Doug Weinstein. I represent Diamante Kendrick. Just a few questions. I think you indicated to Mr. Shart that only one of the people held in custody should have been on the floor at a time, correct?
Outside the
Outside the cell.
Yes.
And you don't know why there were two that were out there at the same time, right?
I don't.
Okay. Is it possible for, and I'm going to again use the unfortunate term inmate, is it possible for an inmate to release himself from the cell?
Yeah.
It is. How would they go about doing that?
Move the door.
It's not locked. It is not locked.
What, the door? Yeah, it's locked. They moved the door when it was locked.
Okay. So even though they're in protective custody, it's possible for multiple inmates to be on the floor at the
I'm
same
not
time.
saying in that pod. I'm just talking. You said generally in the jail. Correct?
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. In that particular pod in 600.
It shouldn't be, but things are put in the doors where you think the door's shut and they can move it.
Okay. And I think we all saw the deputy respond to that fight taking place where he strolls out. Is that the normal procedure, just to kind of slowly walk out there, or generally are they encouraged to have some urgency?
Well, we like to survey the scene first before we go into an incident that could possibly hurt us.
Okay. Do you know how many people held in custody in Fulton County Jail in 2022 when this happened?
Capacity?
within the, yeah, let's clarify. Hold on, no, I haven't finished the question, I'm sorry. Within all of the Fulton County Jail, which goes by Rice Street, correct? People call it Rice Street?
Yes, sir.
So within Rice Street in 2022, do you know how many of the inmates there were killed or died in 2022?
Object to relevance.
Sustained.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Could I follow up on something, Mr. Weinstein?
I don't have anything else.
Sir, you talked about the door, the inmates being able to just move the door. I think that was the assumption that it was been tampered with in some way, the door. Is that what you were saying, that inmates can tamper with the doors? How is that done?
They can put, the door slides. If a door slides, they can put debris or whatever up in the system, in the mechanism. The door will close like it's locked, but they can still move. They can still get out.
So that would allow someone to exit their room while someone else is still on the floor?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
That's one more.
Yep.
Sorry, one more question. Can you tell the jurors, how does an inmate or someone who's residing in Fulton County Jail get a shank into the jail?
It's made from materials that's in the jail already.
Nothing further, Judge.
Anything else? All right, thank you for your time. You are excused. Going
Now, you definitely got to salute to the defense's strategy. Now, I personally must say, in my opinion, the state is actually getting dismantled with each witness that they continuously bring to the stand. The jury should be asking, is this case built more off assumption and circumstantial evidence rather than concrete proof? And again, I ask, who's really responsible for letting YFN Lucci out that room? Is it possible that the prosecutors knew about this attack all along? And ask yourself this, was this really a calculated play from Young Thug and YSL, or a calculated play from the state that just happened to go wrong? At this point, is the state really pursuing justice, or are they just trying to reinforce a narrative at all costs? So let's dig. Is it possible that Lucci is responsible for what happened to himself? Is it possible that he's the one who propped something in the door to keep it open? Or did the defense actually just prove right here in front of the jury that it doesn't take one person, known as an alleged kingpin, for a play to get put in motion? In my personal opinion, I don't feel like any one of them are actually responsible for what happened in this actual situation. It all falls back on the state. And the defense did a great job making sure that when it came to this case, that responsibility and accountability falls back on the system and the state. Man, y'all jump in the comments. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Till next time, remember, the greater the height, the greater the weight. Y'all think Young Thug was responsible for what happened to YFN Lucci in any kind of way? Or was this just a bigger manipulated play from the state? Until next time, remember, the life you save might be your very own. Y'all jump in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, tap the notification, and definitely scroll down to all and turn the notifications on. Hit that like button on your way out if you enjoyed the content to help the channel continue to grow. Till next time, I'm your host, Jay. Gone.